Hey guys, happy Venus Jupiter conjunction. That's the astrology of the day. Venus is meeting up with Jupiter, so you might be feeling this throughout the week. Venus is beauty, art, relationships, pleasure. Jupiter is expansion, abundance, luck, right? So Jupiter amplifies the Venus energy. And I'm really feeling that. I'm feeling like this peak of spring, that we're approaching summer. The heat is building, the sun is growing. Um, the world is so alive, you know, with color and movement and energy and so many different kinds of flora and fauna. So there's so much for us to tap into. There's so much that we're being invited to see and to move toward, okay, and to utilize. Nature is an endless resource for us to tap into. Okay, she's always there. She's always there. She is the mother, right? Like she is there to nurture us and we are there to nurture her back. So there's something about um, being in uh, this collaboration, this understanding that we exist together, right? We are sharing this earth, and we are also like responding to each other's energy, right? Because like when you're around animals or when you're in nature, you're communicating not necessarily with words, but through energy, through vibration, through um or through touch, right? Through feeling, through sensing. So there's something about silence, what is felt without noise or without words. It can still be noise, but it's noise like music or like bird chirps or like water falling or, you know, the wind in the leaves. These textural sounds, these feelings that we don't have to explain, we just observe them, we just allow them to kind of wash over us. And that's what intuition is, right? It's the feeling, it's the sense, it's what we know in our bodies. It's a felt experience rather than the mind, which creates fear. I mean, fear is also felt in the body, but sometimes the mind can override, right? So, intuition is a subtle voice, it speaks softly. Fear can be more forceful, more overpowering, it can be loud. So, what are we going to listen to? What are we going to choose to lean into? And how can we turn down the noise so that we can more easily tap into our animal instincts, our inner knowing? How do we get access to that hidden realm, right? It's kind of like we observe nature and animals, like they are very aware. Okay. Observing, allowing answers to come to you, not accepting what is obvious or what you've heard before or what society tells you, but questioning, allowing yourself to experience and to know for yourself. to know inwardly. Like maybe outwardly, this is what is believed, but what is your inner belief? So it's like your own temperature system, your own gauge that you listen to, right? Like the temperature of your body. Like I came in here to record this message like an hour ago and I was so hot. So I had to go in the other room to cool down. Um, and I put on some handpan music and I just like let myself breathe for a minute. Um, so there's an emphasis on cooling down because as the temperature rises, we need to keep ourselves balanced and grounded, right? Um, okay. So it's like enjoying and tapping into that energy, but also uh, not getting stuck there, right? Something about not overheating. Okay. Hydrating, hydrating, hydrating. Okay. What else, Spirit? So when I was at the park today, I I like to go there because there's a little lake and there's this there's this family of geese that I've been visiting and I brought some food this time to feed them. Like I googled like what they're actually allowed to eat anyway because it said, not to give them bread because bread is not nutritious. It has no nutritional value for birds and like it can actually cause like health issues. Um, so they had come up near me and I was waiting because like to feed them. Anyway, this couple came by and started feeding them bread and I didn't say anything because I didn't know them obviously and like didn't want to make them feel bad because they were like having a nice moment. Um, but it was interesting because the geese ate it. They were like excited to eat it. Like they were just ripping pieces off and like throwing it. They didn't give them that much, but anyway. And then they went off, and then I opened my little jar where I had like some corn and peas and rice and oats in it, and I like was trying to throw some to them, and like they didn't seem interested right away. Like it took them a little while to figure out. Like eventually, they came and ate, but they didn't they weren't super interested, right? And so I was thinking about it of like breadcrumbs, right? Like they might taste good, they might be enticing, but if all we're eating is breadcrumbs, right, we're gonna get sick. So if all we're being fed is breadcrumbs, metaphorically, right, in a relationship or a job or whatever, right? It's never gonna. We're always gonna be hungry. We're always gonna be tired. We're always gonna be, not feeling well because it's not good for us. And then when we're offered like the things that actually are good for us, we might not want it because it's like it doesn't taste good compared to maybe the bread, or we're not used to it. So there's something about that. Okay. There was also another thing. My cat. I always there's two kind of things he likes to eat, and one of them is funny because he just came in and now he's bathing. But anyway, he likes to eat chicken, and but this one specific brand, and this brand, like, I was having trouble finding it for a while, and then um, anyway, they recently discontinued it. So I have been trying to find him something else to replace that, and like I went to the store and bought a couple of different random things because I know like he's really picky. So anyway, so we're trying out different stuff, but he seemed to like one of the things today, but I was thinking like sometimes the things we love the most or we're the most comfortable with eating, for example, get taken from us. The things that we enjoy, the things that we have become part of our daily routine, right? And then it gets ripped away from us sometimes and we don't understand why. And it can be really frustrating and it can be really painful and it can be really jarring and upsetting and disruptive for us, right? Um, but it's almost like if the sooner that we can shift into that invitation of what is this allowing into my life, because it's like I have a feeling we're going to find something that's even better, that he likes even better to eat, that's even healthier for him. Like, I don't know, I'm just like, okay, there must be something else out there. Like, we get to try all these now. We're getting all these different options to try, and like wouldn't have done that, right, if I was able to get this chicken. So um there's something about like there's more options out there that we're not seeing because we're so fixated on or used to having this one thing. So even though there's something out there that's better for us, like the corn, for example, we're just eating the bread because that's all we've known. And so it can feel really frustrating and upsetting when we're like, why is this being taken from us? But sometimes it's because there's something else that we're not seeing that could actually fulfill us more. So, which is interesting because, yeah, I've been facing some obstacles lately along my path. And I was like, you know what? What am I missing here? Like, why am I trying to go down these paths that I've outgrown? You know, um, like why? Because it's like I'm almost avoiding going down the path that I actually would enjoy most because it's unfamiliar, right? We go to familiar territory. So of course we're gonna go toward the bread. We're gonna go toward the chicken. We're gonna go toward, and I don't know why that's just what I'm getting. It doesn't have to be that specific, obviously. It's just this is the analogy. It could be though. I don't know. Um, but we go toward those things because it's like it's safe, right? It's comforting. But if we can sit with the discomfort, if we can move through that, we can end up somewhere even better. You know what I mean? But it's that middle piece, that intermediate stage of like between the old and the new, where it's like we have to just get across that bridge. If we can just get across, but it's almost like that bridge is the hardest part. Like it seems like so short. Oh, I just have to go from here to there. But that bridge, like we can end up stuck there for a long time, you know? Or maybe we keep trying to turn around, or maybe or we're running too fast across it and then kind of burning ourselves out, or jumping before we're ready, or like, I don't know what it could be, right? So, how do we cross the bridge? How do we bridge the old and the new? It's kind of like even now, right? We're in late spring, at least where I am, late spring, moving into summer. So we're it's almost like the gap is it's easier to see now, right? That summer is about to arrive because it feels like summer already, you know. We're almost there. But if we were it was a couple months ago, at the beginning of spring, summer would have still felt very distant. Summer would have felt out of reach. Hmm. So there's something about like the things that we're calling in, or the things that we want, or the things that would be good for us maybe feel out of reach in some way, or feel too far away for us to have. Like, it's almost like, how do I bridge that gap? How do I get from here to there? How do I get from where I am or where I was to where I want to be? But what if we just look at where we are right now? If we are on this bridge, can we just be on the bridge right now? Do we have to be in one place or the other? Can we just be exactly where we are right now? Can we just be in the late spring and know that summer is coming and that maybe we don't need to do anything about it, but just keep walking, or just slow down and know that the seasons are going to change, you know, and all we have to do is show up. All we have to do is be present. All we have to do is observe, and like we will know what moves to make when the wind carries us, or when the sound changes, or the smell. Okay. I don't know. I'm just looking at the incense and I'm like, wow, this is smells really good, and the smoke is swirling in a very like hypnotic way, but like calming way. So yeah, it's calling me into the present moment. It's calling me to slow down, to just sit and enjoy, right, this candlelight and like this moment, and like not rush into the next thing, but just be okay with where you are right now. That there doesn't have to be anything else. And that the work happens in this moment. And that if we're not there yet, it's because there's something here that we're meant to sit with. Okay. And it can be frustrating, right? When it's like we want to just go already, But there's something kind of asking us to pause, asking us mm, to cool down, right? The overheating. We don't want to overheat. We don't, because then we'll might overcook something, right? We want the temperature to be just right. Okay. We want to make sure that when we receive this thing, we don't set it on fire, right? We want to make sure we're able to sustain it. Okay, so whatever you're doing now is you're building your capacity for what's coming next. Okay. So things have to come in slowly, because if everything came in all at once, it would be overwhelming. So things are going to unfold slowly. Also, things move slower in the physical plane, in the earthly plane, right, than they do energetically, or spiritually, or emotionally. So sometimes it just needs to catch up. It just needs time to catch up. So in that time, we can rest, we can play, we can do whatever it is that we like to spend our time doing, right? Okay. So I was getting a message about intuition versus fear. And that intuition speaks softly. Okay. Fear speaks loudly. Intuition is subtle. Okay. Fear can be overpowering. Intuition is this gentle pull, this nudge, right? While fear can be forceful, can be controlling, right? Okay, so when we slow down, we're able to hear our intuition. When we're moving too fast, when our thoughts are moving too fast, it can cloud that. Or when we are physically moving too fast, doing too many things, our intuition can kind of get lost. Okay. So if things are feeling uh, like they're not moving fast enough, it could be because you're being asked to slow down, to focus on what's right in front of you and not what's ahead or behind, but what is here right now. What is here in this moment right now that you need to see. Okay. When your intuition speaks, are you listening? How can you tap into her voice? When you slow down, when you're in nature, when you're in the shower, when you're doing dishes, when you're driving, when you're staring out the window, when you're relaxed. Your intuition speaks when you're relaxed and calm. That's the difference between intuition and fear. Okay? Fear usually causes anxiety. Can be confusing. Also, intuition usually comes first, right? Like your initial thought, your initial instinct is usually your intuition, and then the fear comes in after to kind of dislodge it, to distract, distract, distract. Why did that word sound weird? To disrupt, to try to throw you off, right? To make you doubt. It's like you have an idea, you feel good about it. Like, ooh, I feel called to do this. And then the second you start to overthink about it, it's like you end up not doing the thing because you've now stepped into that fear. And it's now harder to kind of get back into that place because you're like, you're now questioning. So, and that's okay, and that's normal. But how do we shift back? How do we pull back? How do we operate from this place of intuition, of inner knowing, of wisdom, of confidence? How do we have that voice be louder or just as loud, right? Or more potent than the voice of fear? Hmm. What does it sound like when fear speaks to you? And what does it sound like when your intuition speaks? Do they have different voices? Do they have different sounds or feelings or tastes or textures? Like, what, how do you know? And how can you work through the fear? Like, sometimes for me, the fear comes up and it's a teaching moment for me of like, let me sit with this. What is this about? Where is this coming from, right? Why am I feeling this? And I kind of merge the two. So it's the merging of the intuition and the fear. Like, okay, where's this coming from? Okay, why am I feeling this right now? Okay, what am I wanting to be feeling or doing? Why is this coming up to, like, why is this blocking? Why am I feeling blocked? And sometimes it can be harder. Sometimes it's easy to understand. Like, sometimes it's just like, it really depends on the situation. And sometimes you need an outside perspective, or you need more time to sit with it, before it becomes clear of like what, the block is. And sometimes it's going to take a pattern, or like you repeat the same thing, right, until you fully integrate the lesson. So, but yeah, there's something about, can you combine the two? Because it's not about erasing fear, you know, but it's about like, can we blend the two? Can there be a balance of like, um, I'm going to acknowledge this. I'm going to understand what the purpose of that is. Like, I get that it's trying to protect me. And sometimes we need to heed fear, right? Sometimes we need to see the warning. So that's also sometimes where we might be, um, ignoring, potential signs. So it's really up to you to decipher, you know, what is needed in this moment. And that can be why a pause is needed, so that you can sit with the complex emotions of being human. Um, mm, okay. Yeah, I feel like there could be, animal guides working with you. Um, you could feel connected to the sun or the moon, um, certain places in nature, certain trees, like certain certain things are calling you. So tap into that. There's energy there for you to use to work with. Um, mm, Tapping into spirit, tapping into nature, giving your problems away to the earth. The earth will respond back with, warmth and wisdom and love. So I think I'm going to end the message there for now. I feel like there's more to say about this energy, but I feel like that's, yeah, that's as far as we're going tonight, I think. So I'll probably be back on tomorrow to continue this message, because I feel like there's more that wants to be said. So we will see. I feel like that's how my messages kind of are going to be. I don't know. I mean, they all feel like continuations of like energy building on each other. And so, anyway, thanks for being here. Um, I am still, I guess, finding my voice, on camera, I guess, because yeah, I channel messages a lot, but normally just for myself. So this is kind of a new experience, um, of me channeling openly, I guess. So I'm still kind of practicing, or like becoming confident, more confident with the messages, as they come through, but sometimes I need to pause and like sit with things for a minute. The energy doesn't always, yeah, it's always different. So, anyway, yeah, I hope this made sense. Maybe that's a message for someone too. But yeah, just keep going, no matter if you are unsure or, you know, like they say, speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. So, yeah, talk to you guys soon. Bye.